I don't believe that learning and development is an area that's changed in the last 10,000 years. We don't, understand the difference between training and learning and development. And this is a really important thing that we all need to grasp. Training is something that helps you to do something now. And often it's about compliance and conformance. Learning and development helps you to do something in the future, and it's about creating capability. And once we get those two right, it makes a big difference in our people. The other important thing for me is the fact that we haven't changed as an industry for the last 10,000 years. We're still basically writing on something and then talking about it. If we look at young and new learners, they learn in a completely different way. It's what I call intuitive learning. If you look at anyone with new technology, you give them new technology, they don't read an instruction book anymore. In fact, there are no instruction books anymore. They pick up a device and they start playing with it. And they immediately go, I want to open, it's got the word open, file, and it says file. And they intuitively work out how to do that. That's what we need to start doing much more with our learning. And we've got to embrace technology and realise that things like the iPad, which to me has changed radically the peripheries of the industry, it needs to be much more centralised, but that type of device actually creates us a much more interactive and involving way of learning. I think there's room for all forms of learning in the environment at the moment. And what we actually have is there's times where face-to-face is really essential, because it's almost like you need to see the whites of the eyes of the individuals, actually see where the real learning and behavioural change is taking place in front of you, if that's necessary. But again, we need to realise that different people learn in different ways. There's different learning styles, and sometimes people feel safer operating on their own or remotely doing something. So a truly progressive organisation will make sure they've got a blended learning approach that has a mixture of all types of learning that better meets different types of people within their organisation at different times, depending on the need. I think we've also got to realise it's time to embrace technology properly, and not, as we've done over the last 20, 30 years, said that we've gone computer-based training, CBT, then we've said that we've gone e-learning. But e-learning and CBT weren't really anything new. All we did was we took the books and we put them on a screen. That was not real e-learning. That did nothing to encourage people to use it. In fact, it was so boring that most people didn't enjoy the experience. So I think it's important that as we go to the next phase of interactive e-learning, let's call it, we have to do something so that it's different than just putting words in an iPad or a device like that. Otherwise, we're going to switch off thousands, millions of learners to the next stage of development of their learning.